ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Look What's Happening in the Spirit Realm with yours truly, Light. Today, I have a message from the dark realm or the shadow side, whatever you want to call it. And it's about your X factor, your emotional intelligence, and how they've truly underestimated your strength being in your weakness, which is your emotion. See, these are beings that cannot comprehend how to create the correct program, how to create the correct method to hinder your path of rising, evolving, finding and tuning into your godhood. So these are the very beings that have appropriated your family, your friends, your lovers. These are the very beings that have made your life quite difficult, lonely, and that have tried to corner you to a point where you would respond with violence against yourself, that you would take care of the problem for them by removing yourself from the equation, because you are the thing that threatens the survival of this very reptilian, basic, instinctive system that has taken over people's consciousness with fear and shame. So every time they have come at you with everything they've got, and these are beings that have access to go back into the past so they can play unfair, so that they can alter certain growth, certain decisions, certain timelines in order to get the result that they want in the present. And this is exactly why we sometimes wake up and it's almost like we went 10 steps back. We're not quite sure why we feel foggy and groggy and uncomfortable, almost like the things that you've dealt with, the work that you've done internally has somewhat regressed. It's not for no reason. This is a purposeful slowing down of the timeline taking place, to my understanding. And there's been this element of you, my dear, in the astral, having to constantly stay in your position, move to the side where we are constantly growing and evolving. It's been a lonely battle because a lot of the people that you have as your passengers are the very people that are very ungrateful, cruel, and disloyal towards you and the position that you've been given, the position that they want but they cannot obtain because they refuse to operate outside of this need to be a thing, this need to be involved in themselves, and this need to have you, frankly, beneath them. Why you? Why you? Why you? Why the focus on you? Why? Why? And these entities, whatever you want to call them, have made it their mission to study what makes you tip, what makes you break. But they can't seem to understand it because of this X factor, this chi, this spirit, this spark, this joker, this element of creation itself, the creator itself being in you. These are beings that are disconnected from source. They can't comprehend the unpredictable nature of God, how God will move, and the completeness of God being made in our human emotions. This is what makes us so unique. We have such a deep ability to feel such deep darkness and also comprehend the most elated version of light. This is exactly why we've been picked, preyed on, and done so by people that we've believed are also human. They're also like us. They see things like us. They have a perspective like us. Like deep, deep down, I'm sure you care about me, right? That, my dear, has been the tool that they've used. The goal has been to shut you down, to close your heart out, because that is a thing they cannot understand. They cannot create a program to outsmart your heart. That is the element that makes you God. And it's a losing battle for them. It's constantly a losing battle, because every time they get you 10 steps back, somehow you're 15 steps forward. And this is constantly leaving them at a position of who to use against you next, because they want to close your heart. They want to make you feel like everyone out there is somehow going to get you eventually. They're out to hurt you eventually, because a lot of people are weak vessels that they haven't healed emotionally wounded aspects of themselves. Thus, they become easy portals to be manipulated mentally into thinking that what they're doing to you is justifiable, which leads them down a very dark path. And once they drink from the darkness, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop killing once you start. And these people, the goal is to make you feel so isolated that you capitulate with the game, that you say, okay, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And you've said that so many times. Do you know how close they've gotten? So many times they've gotten so close. But each time, a standard gets raised. And as much as you've given up in so many aspects, because I do read your comments, and I relate with you more than you know, there's an element inside you that's relentless. It's cruel. It's cruel how much hope you possess. Not just to you, but to these beings that cannot give up either. And so, there's this element that I'm feeling for the couple of days, today and yesterday, of almost emptiness. This resolved element of judgment being had, not in a negative sense, but in a sense where, okay, the things that have happened in the past have happened, and the chips have fell where they should have. There's nothing that we can do to punish ourselves or other people. And there's an element of forgiveness that it's not weakness. There's an element of forgiveness and letting things go, loosening the grip on certain things that is going to allow the flow of the natural flow of evolution, of the rising. You see, your love is the ultimate thing. When you will not possess your powers until you possess love wholly and completely, because that is what's going to allow you to use your powers for good. Use your powers, period. Because the last thing that we want is the amount of karmic debt that comes with the amount of power that you have. And for a long time we've been purposefully paused because they fear us. They fear our power of love. They fear how all-encompassing, how it can completely erase an entire civilization and start a new one. And this is what makes you chosen. It's because your emotional intelligence is something that you cannot even, that surprises you, that takes you by surprise. That it is a sign of a very intelligent, a very godly being to rise above the very low vibrational things that have been done to you, to still see the world and perceive it through the eyes of love. Not weakness, not stupidity, not forgetfulness, but love. Understanding. It's the ultimate understanding. And this is the thing they don't have. These things, these soulless clones that masquerade as humans at times. They don't have that. And I don't know if they ever will. This is why they hate you. It's because you can comprehend light. Something they feed on, but they cannot source. And I'm feeling it like this release. Because I know a lot of us, we get readings and there's a lot of energy attached to you. It's not yours, it's the judgment that other people feel upon themselves. They can't look back and say, I didn't capitulate. And there was a point in time where you could have said the same thing about yourself. Nobody's perfect. But they're going to have to move forward the way they do. And there's an element of forgiveness that you need to embody to smoothen the scales, to make this transition easy, for us to stop hanging around in a realm of a very discomfort. It's a very uncomfortable place to be in long term. And this is where they want to preserve us, because we're neither in the new earth or in the old. We're just kind of in the middle. And this isn't going to last forever. It's okay to let go now. It's okay to let go. And if you've been feeling extreme emotions, understand that not all of it belongs to you. Some of it belongs to certain people that are beginning to see the weight of what they've done to you. And it's only because they've been operating in a very low level of consciousness where they couldn't feel it. They couldn't feel the guilt or the remorse because there was a very low intelligence level. It's not an insult to anybody. They were protected from their own deeds. And their light is being shunned. So there's nowhere to run now, right? Judgment means things are coming out of the grave. Their dead are awakening. And a lot of them are clinging onto your skirt because they feel like they're going to be left behind, but they're not. They're not. They're just actually becoming human again from how long they've been usurped by entities. And these are the people that believed that you were the weak vessel, that you were stupid, that you were the one who was the disloyal one, the problematic one, the one that should be trusted, only because your problem wasn't giving love. It was the lack of understanding that you had about the quality, the degree of your love and how rare it was and how much it actually does hurt people who aren't ready for it. I don't know why I want to cry at the same time and punch the screen. There's a level of emptiness I feel that almost desires to feel something, but it's almost like there's a purge happening in many ways. And my dear, it doesn't matter how many energies are clinging onto you. It does not stop the fact that you are exiting and entering into a new world for yourself. I want to leave it at that. I hope this made sense, because I hope it made sense. And to all of you, I'm sending you so much love and appreciation in every way.